The Little Wanderer, A Tale of Courage and Redemption. Chapter 1. The Lonely Journey. Esther's eyes felt heavy with tears as she walked away from her mother's grave. She had never felt so alone in her life. Her mother was gone, and she had no one to take care of her. The African savannah stretched out before her like an endless sea. "Mama, why did you leave me?" Esther whispered, her voice trembling. She remembered the last words her mother spoke to her. "Esther, my dear, I'll always be with you in spirit. Be brave and find your way to the village nearby. They will help you." Esther took a deep breath and began to walk. The sun beat down on her small body as she trudged through the dusty terrain. She wore a faded yellow dress and carried a small bag with some clothes and a water bottle. As the day wore on, Esther's stomach growled with hunger. She spotted some berries on a nearby bush and ate them quickly. They tasted bitter, but they filled her empty belly. As night began to fall, Esther curled up under a tree, feeling scared and alone. She missed her mother terribly. "I wish you were here, Mama," Esther whispered into the darkness. But she knew she had to keep moving forward. Tomorrow, she will reach the village and find help. But little did Esther know, the village was not what it seemed. Chapter 2. The Village of Strangers. Esther walked for hours until she saw the village in the distance. Her heart skipped a beat as she approached the entrance. People milled about, going about their daily business. As soon as they saw Esther, they stopped and stared. Their faces were unfriendly, and their eyes seemed to pierce through her skin. "Who are you?" one of them asked gruffly. Esther explained that she was looking for food and shelter after her mother's passing. But the villagers just shook their heads and told her to leave. "You're not from around here," one of them said curtly. "We can't take care of strangers." Just then, a scruffy dog wagged its tail and approached Esther. It was Kofi, a stray dog who would become her loyal companion. "Hey there, pup," Esther said softly, scratching Kofi behind the ears. Together, they wandered around the outskirts of the village, searching for scraps to eat and a place to sleep. "Why are they being so mean?" Esther asked Kofi aloud. Kofi whined sympathetically as if he understood exactly what she meant. But why were the villagers so mean to Esther? And what secrets were they hiding? Chapter 3. The Kind Stranger. Days turned into weeks as Esther struggled to survive on the outskirts of the village. Kofi remained by her side, protecting her from harm. One day, while rummaging through trash cans, Esther met Amma, a kind-hearted villager who took pity on her. Amma gave Esther some food and promised to help her gain acceptance in the village. "You poor thing," Amma said gently. "I'll talk to the elder about letting you stay." But not everyone was happy about Amma's kindness. Nee, the leader of a rival group of children, sneered at Esther and warned Amma to stay away from the outsider. "You're wasting your time on this stranger," Nee sneered at Amma. "She'll never fit in here." Amma stood firm despite Nee's threats. "I won't abandon this child like everyone else has," Amma said firmly. "She deserves our help." As tensions rose between Amma and Nee's group, Esther began to wonder if she would ever find peace in this new place. Would Amma be able to convince them? Chapter 4. The Stormy Night. A severe storm rolled in one night, threatening to destroy what little shelter Esther had found. Kofi whimpered anxiously as strong winds howled through the trees. "Just hold on, Kofi," Esther said, trying to calm him down. "We'll get through this." But as the storm intensified, Esther's makeshift hut began to shake and creak. She grabbed Kofi's paw and ran towards Amma's hut in search of safety. "Amma, help!" Esther cried out, pounding on Amma's door. Amma opened it quickly and ushered them inside just as a loud crash shook the hut. A tree branch had broken off and crushed part of their home. "Oh no!" Amma exclaimed. "We have to get out of here, now." As they fled into the darkness, Esther stumbled and fell. Kofi yelped in distress as she struggled to get up. Suddenly, a figure loomed out of the shadows. It was Nee, his eyes gleaming with malice. "You should have listened to me," Nee sneered at Amma. "Now you're going to pay for helping this outsider." Amma stood tall, her eyes flashing with defiance. "I won't let you harm us," she said firmly. But before she could do anything else, Nee snatched Esther and Kofi away. Would Amma be able to rescue them from Nee's clutches? Chapter 5. The mysterious disappearance. Esther struggled against Nee's grip as he dragged her deeper into the darkness. Kofi growled fiercely but was no match for Nee's strength. Just when all hope seemed lost, everything went dark. When the light returned, Esther and Kofi were gone. The villagers searched high and low but found no trace of them. Some say that on stormy nights when lightning flashes across Africa skies, you can still hear Esther's faint cry echoing through the savannah. Others claim that if you listen closely, you can hear Kofi's distant howl. But one thing is certain, Esther and Kofi vanished without a trace, leaving behind only whispers of a mysterious force that took them away. And so, the villagers whispered among themselves about the cursed village where outsiders were not welcome. Chapter 6. The search begins. Distraught and desperate, Amma rallied the villagers to search for Esther and Kofi. Despite their initial reluctance, the villagers were stirred by Amma's determination and began combing the savannah. The search party split into groups, each scouring different parts of the land. Amma led one group deeper into the forest where Nee was last seen. The thick foliage obscured their path, and ominous whispers seemed to float on the breeze. Amma's heart pounded with worry for Esther and Kofi. Meanwhile, another group ventured towards the outskirts of the village, where they discovered cryptic symbols etched into ancient stones. These markings seemed to hold a secret, their meaning lost to time. Could they provide clues to Esther's disappearance? As the sun dipped below the horizon, hope flickered like a distant flame. Would they find Esther and Kofi before it was too late? But what dark forces lurked in the shadows, and why did they take Esther and Kofi? Chapter 7. The Hidden Truth. Days turned into weeks, and whispers turned into rumors. Amma refused to give up, driven by a steadfast belief that Esther was alive. She delved deeper into the village's history, piecing together fragments of an ancient legend passed down through generations. Legend spoke of a forgotten ritual, a pact made with the spirits of the land to protect the village from harm. But with each passing year, the village grew more isolated, clinging to its secrets like a shroud. Amma's investigation led her to an old, abandoned hut on the outskirts of the village. Inside, she uncovered relics of a bygone era, weathered totems and faded parchments adorned with strange symbols. Could these artifacts hold the key to Esther's disappearance? As Amma deciphered the symbols, a chilling realization dawned upon her. The village was bound by an ancient curse, a curse that demanded a sacrifice to appease the spirits. Was Esther chosen unwittingly, or was there a deeper conspiracy at play? What dark secrets lay buried within the village's history, and could Amma unravel the truth before it was too late? Chapter 8. The Ritual Unveiled. Driven by a sense of urgency, Amma confronted the village elders with her findings. Their faces paled as she recounted the ancient legend and its grim implications. They had hoped to bury the past, but now the past threatened to consume them. Reluctantly, the elders confessed to their role in Esther's disappearance. Faced with dwindling resources and growing fear, they had turned to desperate measures to safeguard their future. The ritual demanded a sacrifice, a life offered willingly to ensure the village's survival. Amma's heart sank as she realized the magnitude of their actions. Esther and Kofi had been ensnared in a web of ancient traditions and modern fears. But there was still hope, a chance to break the curse and free them from their captivity. With the villagers at her side, Amma embarked on a perilous journey to confront the spirits that haunted the savannah. Armed with courage and determination, they ventured into the heart of darkness, where the boundary between the living and the dead blurred. Would Amma's bravery be enough to undo the curse and rescue Esther and Kofi from their spectral prison? Chapter 9. The Spirit's Trial. The journey led them to a sacred grove hidden deep within the savannah, where ancient trees whispered secrets of bygone ages. Amma and the villagers stood before an ethereal presence, a spirit bound by sorrow and rage, its eyes ablaze with otherworldly fire. The spirit spoke in hushed tones, recounting a history of betrayal and loss. Long ago, it had watched over the land with benevolence, until greed and fear corrupted the hearts of men. The ritual had sealed its fate, trapping it between realms as an eternal guardian. Amma pleaded with the spirit for mercy, offering restitution for the sins of the past. The spirit's gaze softened, touched by Amma's sincerity and compassion. It posed a challenge, a test of courage and selflessness to prove their worthiness. With bated breath, Amma and the villagers accepted the spirit's challenge. They faced trials of fire and shadow, confronting their deepest fears and regrets. Each trial forged bonds of solidarity and resolve, strengthening their resolve to right the wrongs of generations past. Would they succeed in overcoming the spirit's trials and redeeming the village from its haunted legacy? Chapter 10: Redemption and Reunion. As dawn broke over the savannah, Amma and the villagers emerged from the sacred grove, weary but triumphant. Their hearts brimmed with hope as they returned to the village, guided by a newfound sense of unity and purpose. At the village's edge, they discovered Esther and Kofi, their forms ethereal and translucent. Amma's eyes welled with tears as she reached out to them, their spirits intertwining in a poignant embrace. The curse had been broken, and they were finally free. The villagers gathered around, their faces awash with relief and joy. Together, they celebrated a new beginning, a future unburdened by the shadows of the past. Esther smiled through shimmering tears, her mother's spirit embracing her from beyond the veil. In the days that followed, the village underwent a transformation, a renaissance of compassion and understanding. Amma became a revered elder, guiding the community with wisdom born of adversity. And Esther, now grown, carried the lessons of her journey in her heart, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit.